What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Sean O'Malley revealed that he is already preparing for a potential 5-round war, despite his upcoming fight against Song Yadong being scheduled for just 3 rounds. While emphasizing that he is fully focused on Song, O'Malley admitted that his training reflects long-term championship ambitions, including a possible rematch with Tsarukyan. O'Malley explained that even though the fight is officially 3 rounds, his camp has consistently been training for 5. He made it clear that this approach isn't about overlooking Song Yadong, whom he described as dangerous, fast, and powerful in both hands. According to O'Malley, Song is a serious threat and must be respected, but preparation at the highest level requires thinking ahead. He acknowledged that fighters can't afford to look past their next opponent yet, admitted that part of his mindset is geared toward future challenges, particularly Tsarukyan. O'Malley said he feels ready and believes that a rematch would be a defining moment, stating that Yen would have to be fully prepared if they meet again. The conversation also touched on rumors surrounding a massive UFC event potentially taking place at the White House, with reports suggesting as many as 6 title fights on the card. O'Malley called the idea insane but intriguing, noting how the timing of upcoming fights could open the door for multiple belts being contested. He mentioned that, with major lightweight matchups approaching, a title could realistically be available by June. As for the bantamweight division, O'Malley said everything depends on future booking decisions, particularly involving Tsarukyan. He also added that facing Topuria immediately after recent personal challenges might not be ideal timing. Overall, O'Malley made it clear he's locked in on Song Yadong, but he's training like a champion, prepared for whatever comes next. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Justin Gaethje's head coach Trevor Wittman provided a detailed update on how training camp is progressing as UFC 324 approaches, confirming that the team is now 4 weeks out from fight night and entering a strategic recovery phase. Wittman explained that the camp began at a very high pace during the first 4 weeks, pushing Gaethje hard both physically and mentally. At this stage, however, the focus has shifted toward tapering the workload to allow the body to recover and adapt. While Gaethje never fully hit a wall, Wittman noted subtle signs in recovery that indicated it was the right time to pull back. As a result, the team scheduled multiple rest days last week, limiting activity to light movement and shadowboxing. This allowed Gaethje to get nearly 4 full days of recovery before transitioning into what Wittman described as a down week. The down week does not mean complete rest. Instead, the intensity has been reduced to roughly 70%. Whereas Gaethje typically completes 10 to 11 rounds per workout, sessions this week are scaled down to 6 or 7 rounds with a controlled pace. The emphasis is on maintaining sharpness without unnecessary wear and tear. This week also features a strong focus on grappling, with the team's jiu-jitsu coach arriving in town to oversee technical drilling. Wittman stressed that even this grappling work is being carefully moderated to avoid overloading the body. Outside the gym, the week includes several team and family events, including a coaches gathering with Gaethje's parents and a New Year's launch event at the gym, marking the completion of ongoing construction. Overall, Wittman described this phase of camp as highly technical and recovery-focused, designed to ensure Gaethje peaks at the right time while staying healthy, fresh, and fully prepared for fight night. Move on to another news. Payton Talbott recently addressed speculation about his sexuality during an appearance on Matan Even's podcast, after the host repeatedly questioned him on the topic. During the conversation, Talbott stated clearly and directly that he is not gay. He emphasized that there was no issue with being asked directly, but questioned why the subject continued to be raised after he had already answered honestly, even responded by explaining that Talbott's answer made him feel more comfortable, and that honesty was what mattered most to him. He added that if Talbott had said he was gay, he would not have judged him differently, but admitted that hearing what he expected helped put him at ease. Talbott acknowledged the explanation and accepted the response, bringing the exchange to a calm conclusion. The moment quickly circulated online, sparking discussion about boundaries in interviews and the importance of respecting clear answers once they are given. While the exchange remained civil, it highlighted how personal topics can sometimes overshadow the broader purpose of a fighter interview. Move on to another news. Former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira shared his perspective on a potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, offering a balanced breakdown of how the fight could unfold. According to Oliveira, Makhachev's approach is very clear and methodical. He believes Islam relies heavily on closing the distance, clinching, and taking opponents to the ground, where he can impose control and look for a finish. Oliveira described this as Makhachev's primary game plan and emphasized how effective it has been throughout his career. Oliveira also highlighted Topuria's striking power, stressing that it goes far beyond the knockout loss he personally suffered. He described Topuria's punching power as the hardest he has ever felt, underscoring how dangerous Ilia is on the feet. However, Oliveira noted that he has not seen enough of Topuria's clinch or ground game at the highest level to fully assess that aspect of his skill set. In Oliveira's view, the fight hinges on where it takes place. If the bout remains standing, he believes Topuria has a strong chance of knocking Makhachev out. On the other hand, if Islam is able to successfully close the distance and secure a clinch or takedown, Oliveira expects him to dominate and finish the fight on the ground. Ultimately, Oliveira called the matchup extremely close and highly competitive. He pointed out that Makhachev's biggest challenge would be safely closing the distance, as engaging Topuria at range is especially dangerous due to his speed, timing, and knockout power. Move on to another news. UFC commentator John Anik believes Arman Tsarukyan is being treated unfairly by the UFC, despite clearly being one of the most dangerous fighters in the lightweight division. Anik referenced comments made by Dana White, who stated that Tsarukyan must earn it, regardless of rankings. While acknowledging the UFC stance, Anik emphasized that Tsarukyan is widely regarded as one of the toughest and most complete fighters in the sport today. He pointed to Tsarukyan's dominant performance against Dan Hooker as evidence of his elite level. According to Anik, much of the fan base believes Tsarukyan currently looks like the best all-around lightweight in the world, even when compared to names such as Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett, and Ilia Topuria. However, he noted that internal circumstances surrounding events before UFC 311 complicated Tsarukyan's path. Anik explained that only a small group within the organization truly knows what happened leading up to UFC 311. Depending on who you ask, the issue was either related to a difficult weight cut or an injury. Whatever the cause, the narrative shifted, and Tsarukyan's fight with Hooker was no longer treated as a clear title eliminator. While Anik admitted that the sport and life in general is often unfair, he openly stated that he does believe Tsarukyan has been treated unjustly. That said, he also acknowledged that the full extent of any behind-the-scenes tension between Tsarukyan and UFC leadership is known only to those inside the organization. Move on to another news. Former UFC champion Michael Bisping believes Merab would benefit greatly from stepping away from competition for an extended period before his next title defense. Bisping suggested that Merab take approximately 6 months off to recover both physically and mentally, allowing his body to fully heal after the intense pace he has maintained. In Bisping's view, this break would not only preserve Merab's longevity but also help him return refreshed and focused. He proposed that during this time the UFC could match Payton against Umar Nurmagomedov, with Merab later facing the winner of that bout. Bisping described this scenario as the most logical path forward for the division. According to Bisping, Merab has earned the right to enjoy the rewards of his success. He encouraged him to take time away from the grind of training, travel back to Georgia, spend quality time with family, enjoy food, and mentally reset. Bisping emphasized that the goal of the break should be to think about nothing at all, especially not fighting. By removing himself temporarily from the pressure of constant preparation, Bisping believes Merab would return more dangerous, more motivated, and better prepared to defend his title against whoever emerges as the top contender. Move on to another news. Paddy Pimblett believes Ilia Topuria should consider vacating the lightweight title if he plans to remain inactive for an extended period, warning that the division could stall in situations similar to what Tom Aspinall experienced while waiting on John Jones. Pimblett explained that if Topuria is going to be sidelined for a year or longer, stepping aside would be the fairest option for the division. While he made it clear that he wants to fight Topuria and prove he can beat him, he also acknowledged the downside of being forced to wait indefinitely. According to Pimblett, holding up a weight class benefits no one. He strongly defended the legitimacy of interim titles, calling them real-world championships. Pimblett dismissed critics who downplay interim belts, arguing that those opinions often come from people who have never competed for a title themselves. Looking ahead, Pimblett suggested that Alexander Volkanovski could potentially move up to lightweight if Pimblett defeats Justin Gaethje at UFC 324 to claim the interim lightweight title. He noted that Volkanovski's future could depend on upcoming results and hinted that retirement rumors surrounding Volkanovski surface frequently but rarely materialize. Pimblett admitted the situation presents a dilemma. On one hand, he wants the opportunity to fight Topuria directly. On the other, he believes that if Topuria remains inactive for too long, vacating the title would allow the division to move forward without unnecessary delays. Ultimately, Pimblett emphasized that his goal is simple: become the undisputed lightweight champion, regardless of which path leads him there. Move on to another news. A potential welterweight clash is beginning to gain momentum after Della Maddalena publicly accepted a call-out from rising contender Carlos Prates. Prates recently challenged Della Maddalena on social media, and during a live stream appearance with YouTuber Neon, Maddalena made it clear he is fully on board with the matchup. He described the fight as an exciting stylistic pairing, and encouraged the UFC to make it happen, even calling it a potential money fight. When asked how he believes the fight would play out, Maddalena acknowledged Prates' striking ability and toughness but remained confident in his own skill set. He predicted that if the bout is booked, he expects to finish Prates, though he did not specify whether it would come by knockout or submission. Maddalena also expressed a strong preference for the fight to be scheduled as a 5-round contest rather than the standard 3 rounds. He explained that he enjoys longer fights and believes 5 rounds better showcase his conditioning experience and overall game. He pointed out that several of his recent bouts have already been 5-round affairs and said he feels most comfortable competing over that distance. The exchange ended with Maddalena reiterating his interest in the matchup and emphasizing that he is ready whenever the UFC decides to move forward. With both fighters openly welcoming the bout, the matchup now appears to be firmly on the radar of fans and matchmakers alike. Move on to another news. Last year, Conor McGregor sparked speculation when he publicly welcomed Donald Trump Jr. as a business partner on social media. That mystery partnership has now come into focus, with new details revealing a significant financial move by the Trump family into McGregor's MMA venture. According to financial records, the Trump family has invested a total of $23 million into McGregor's company, MMA Inc., a New York Stock Exchange-listed business that has struggled with heavy losses in recent years. The investment is reported to have stabilized the company's financial position and provided it with fresh momentum. The investment structure includes an initial $3 million injection from the Trump family's proprietary firm, followed by an additional $20 million committed through share purchases. Donald Trump Jr. joined the company earlier as a strategic advisor, with a focus on helping expand MMA Inc.'s global footprint. McGregor finalized a major business move last year by becoming a co-owner of MMA Inc., a company centered on MMA-focused wellness products. The brand specializes in manufacturing gym equipment and essential training materials designed for fighters and fitness professionals. With backing from the Trump family, MMA Inc. now enters a new phase of growth and stability. The partnership also fuels speculation that McGregor's strengthened business and political ties could improve his chances of appearing on the rumored UFC White House card scheduled for June 14. As of now, however, no official fight announcement has been made.